Hello. How's everything? A long time no see. This is the first of what I hope to be many lives this season. The first episode of the fifth season of the podcast is out as of Friday. I hope you caught it. It's episode 141. And in September, I'm going to be covering three superpower that can, I believe, really make a difference in the practice room. As I say in the episode, they appear as very basic, but I think they're the ones that we forget too often. So as I go on, please feel free to post your questions if you have any questions for me, or if you caught the episode and you have some comments, let me see them here in the chat. I do intend to be back, I believe, every Monday. We'll see how things worked throughout the season. But I want to expand a little bit on these concepts that I covered in the episode. And also now I will be including at the end of each episode some questions that you can bring with you in the practice room to deepen your practice a little bit, bring a little bit more presence and intention in your practice. So episode 141 was all about this idea of mind over finger, of this alignment that we have before we take action. So often we count how many minutes we've practiced. We focus a lot on the doing of things. We take a lot of actions, but we want to make sure that we take a lot of high quality actions. And that does not always look like a lot of doing. We have to pause. We have to assess. We have to bring presence to what we're doing. Because I think that a lot of the great artists I speak with or work with, the one thing that comes back again and again when they talk about their practice and why they're seeing results is the intentionality that they bring to their practice. So it rarely has to do with how long they practice. And yes, we need all of the cute little tips. We need all of these systems. We need to know how to practice. There are ways to practice that are helpful. And I have all of those. And by the way, I do have a workshop coming on October 14th. The link for that is on my website at mindoverfinger.com. So make sure to sign up for that too. Yes, get some of these tips, but we need the right mindsets as well. And what I see a lot of time is we look for answers outside of ourselves. So if something's not quite working, we launch ourselves into a lot of action, or we look for answers outside of ourselves. We want quick solutions or quick fix, or, like the magic trick. And sometimes we'll find something, we try it, and it looks like it works really well. We see some result. A lot of time what happens is that trying this new thing brings awareness to our practice. So it's a combination of not just what the technique itself does, but your level of awareness because you're focusing on this new technique. But then you get comfortable with this technique. And what happens is that these old habits of these old ways of doing things, they come back, they override this fresh awareness. And then first thing you know, you're back to being mindless. So you have more technique, or I should say more technique. You have more ways to approach practicing, but your moment to moment awareness is not necessarily better. So things don't work as well. And then you go back to wanting to look for answers outside, and you want more tips and more tricks and the latest trend of ways of doing things. So what we want to do is make sure we look for answers within first, that we have awareness. And I hope you listen to episode 141, where I invite you to bring more of this intentionality in your practice. If you're trying to solve an issue, what are you practicing? What is the information? What is your goal? How are you going to go about it? All of these things. So we want to bring this intentionality in the practice room and look for answers within. Make sure we're present before we launch into unnecessary action or into this never-ending search for tips and tricks and one more tutorial on YouTube. And they're helpful. I'm not saying they're not. They are. But first, we want to pause and ask ourselves some questions. So at the end of the episode, I invite you to bring more of this state of presence in your practice, to pause. You can even go back and listen to the Gear Up for 2022 episodes that I launched right before, where I was talking about priming and warming up and setting up your practice regimen and all of these things. So to take a little bit of time to really know what you're trying to do. And then I was offering you 3 questions that you could ponder on in the practice room to help bring more of that intentionality in the practice room. And here they are. So what happens and what am I thinking when I engage in mindless practicing? What are you thinking about? Are you tired? Is this a good time to be practicing? Are you thinking about a problem that happened with some colleagues earlier? Or if you're a parent, are you focused on homework? So what is happening when you're practicing mindlessly? Are you busy with spiraling thoughts? Are you thinking a lot about how it's not working, how it should be better by now? You're having a lot of shoulds in your head. So what's happening? What's happening in your body? What's happening in your head? What's happening in your heart when you're engaging in this mindless practicing? This information is going to yield a lot of insight that you can use to be more mindful. And even just taking a minute to assess where you are and how you feel, to like take your pulse, not literally, but so that in itself will give you a moment of pause. We're looking for these moments where we let the snowflake settle in that snow globe. So a lot of time we walk in the practice room and we've got that snow globe and we're just shaking it. We need to let that dust settle to the bottom so we can see accurately what's happening. So what happens and what are you thinking when you are engaging in mindless practicing? The second question is, what does being fully present in the practice room look and feel like for me? Think about it. How are you feeling? What are you thinking when you're having a really intentional moment in the practice room? What thoughts are going through your brain? What are you practicing? What time of day? Are you rested? Where are you? Are you at home? Are you at work, at school? What are the different elements surrounding you when you are very present in the practice room? And then question number 3, what keeps me engaged while I practice? That's a really good question because it's going to be very different for a lot of people. Can you give yourself a challenge? One question I like to ask clients is, how can you make it enjoyable? Some people enjoy a good challenge. Some people like to give themselves a goal of the day. Can you use a timer and give yourself an assignment of having memorized that passage in 5 minutes? What do you know about the composer? What do you know about the music? What are things that keep you interested in general? Do you have a hobby? Could you make some parallels between your hobby and your practice? So things that keep you interested and engaged emotionally, intellectually in the practice room. Maybe awareness on your body, awareness on your feelings. Anything goes. But it's worth to ask yourself these questions. What keeps you engaged in the practice room? So these 3 questions are in episode 141. If you subscribe to my mailing list, you have received the transcript of this episode. I also have posts on social media where they are, so you can find them in multiple places. They're also in the show notes of episode 141. That's going to be in your podcast app, wherever you listen to shows, or in the show notes at mindoverfinger.com/podcast. So you can have these 3 questions in writing. But I invite you to really put mind over finger in the practice room this week to ask yourself question. What happens? What are you thinking when you engage in mindless practicing? What does being fully present feel and look like for you? And what keeps you engaged while you practice? Ask yourself these questions, explore the answers, try stuff, have some fun, and let me know. So send me a DM on social media, comment here below so I can reply, and make sure to tune in for this next video. So next Monday, I'll see you here, and I hope you have an amazing week. Let me know how it goes.